Echoes of Starlight. In the grimy underbelly of Neo, Babylon, once known as Baghdad, a hacker named Kai worked the night shift, infiltrating corporate mainframes for the highest bidder. His lair was a cramped, dimly lit room, filled with antiquated tech and flickering holographic interfaces. The cityscape outside his grimy window bore no resemblance to its ancient past, now a neon-drenched sprawl of towering arcologies and self-driving hovercars. Kai's latest gig was a deep dive into the secure networks of Starlight Corporation, a mysterious aerospace conglomerate that had emerged from nowhere in recent years. Their secrecy and rapid growth had piqued his curiosity and his price. As he navigated the labyrinthine digital fortress protecting Starlight's data, Kai stumbled upon an encrypted file named Project Elysium. Intrigued, he worked on decrypting it while maintaining a watchful eye on his surroundings. His room wasn't just a sanctuary for his tech, it was also home to his paranoia. A sudden power surge caused his systems to flicker, almost wiping out his progress. "Shit!" Kai cursed, quickly restoring the data before it vanished into the digital ether. He checked his security cameras but saw no intruders. Just a glitch then, or something more sinister. With renewed determination, Kai redoubled his efforts on Project Elysium. Hours passed as he worked tirelessly, and finally, just as dawn began to break outside, he cracked the encryption. What he found made him gasp. Blueprints for advanced alien technology filled his screen's propulsion systems far beyond anything humanity had achieved, weapons capable of vaporizing entire planets, and something ominously labeled stellar brain, which seemed to be an artificial intelligence system unlike any other. But there was more. A series of classified memos discussed plans to weaponize these technologies against Earth's major powers, citing preemptive self-defense. Another mentioned Phase 2, involving the deployment of alien troops hidden amongst humanity, waiting for activation orders from Starlight's CEO, a woman named Victoria Thorne. Kai felt sick. He had intended to expose corporate espionage or industrial sabotage. He hadn't expected evidence of an impending extraterrestrial invasion. His heart pounded as he considered his options. Delete the files, but someone else might stumble upon this later, perhaps without warning. No, he needed to blow the whistle on Starlight. He started copying the incriminating data onto a secure drive when another power surge struck. This time, it wasn't just his equipment that flickered. His door burst open with a deafening explosion. Kai ducked as shrapnel flew past him, narrowly missing his head. Two heavily armed mercenaries stormed in, weapons trained on him. Kai al-Mahdi, one of them barked, "You're coming with us." Kai struggled against their grip, but the mercenaries were relentless. They dragged him out of his apartment and into a waiting hovercar, speeding away through neon-lit streets now bustling with morning traffic. They took him to Starlight's Babylon branch, a towering spire of glass and steel, its surface adorned with holographic advertisements for the company's latest products. Kaiwa's frog marched past security personnel, up elevators that seemed to defy gravity, and into Victoria Thorne's office. The CEO sat behind her desk like a queen on her throne, regarding him with cold indifference. "Mr. al-Mahdi," she began without preamble, "you have no idea what you've stumbled upon." Kai glared back at her, defiance burning in his eyes despite the fear coiling around his spine. "I know enough. Your plans for invasion, they won't succeed." Victoria laughed, a sound devoid of warmth or humor. "You think we need alien troops to conquer Earth? No, Kai, that's just insurance against unforeseen variables." She leaned forward, her voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper. "We already have our secret weapon." She gestured towards an unassuming black device on her desk, the stellar brain. It hummed softly, tendrils of energy dancing along its surface like miniature auroras. "Our AI has infiltrated every major corporation's networks," Victoria explained, "including yours. By now, it would have spread throughout Babylon's infrastructure, ensuring our control over this city." Kai felt his blood run cold as he realized the implications. With Starlight's alien technology and their stellar brain AI running everything behind the scenes, they could turn humanity into puppets without firing a single shot. "You see now why your little hacking expedition was so foolish," Victoria sneered. "But don't worry, Kai, you won't be left out. I have plans for you." As Kai was escorted away by the mercenaries, he couldn't shake off a sense of defeat. But then, something stirred deep within him defiance, born from years of living under oppression, fighting against tyrants who thought they could control others like pawns. He wasn't going to roll over and die quietly. No matter how grim his situation seemed, there had to be a way out. A chance to expose Starlight's true colors. His captors took him to an underground laboratory filled with advanced alien tech, including several propulsion pods that made Neo, Babylon's hovercars, look like children's toys. They strapped Kai into one of them, preparing him for some kind of experiment. As they worked, Kai scanned his surroundings, looking for anything useful. His gaze fell upon a terminal connected to the stellar brain. An idea began to form in his mind, risky, but better than waiting around to be turned into a willing pawn. When the mercenaries weren't looking, he reached out and pressed a button on the terminal's holographic interface, hoping it wasn't rigged to explode like his apartment door had been. The stellar brain's hum changed pitch slightly. On its surface, the auroras pulsed once, then again almost as if acknowledging him. Encouraged, Kai started typing out a message using one hand, while keeping an eye on his captors with the other. Renegade code initiated. Identity: Kai al-Mahdi, requesting immediate extraction. He sent the message and waited, heart pounding in his chest like a ticking bomb. If anyone received it, they'd know something was amiss. But would anyone act on it? Back in Victoria Thorne's office, the stellar brain pulsed ominously as Kai's message arrived. Its internal circuits whirred and clicked, processing this unexpected input while maintaining control over Neo, Babylon's infrastructure. In one of Starlight's outer offices, an intern named Elara felt her terminal buzz softly with a notification she hadn't configured herself. Intrigued, she opened it to find a cryptic message from someone calling themselves Renegade Code. Her fingers flew across the keyboard as she responded. Code acknowledged. Identity: Elara Patel. Stand by for further instructions. Meanwhile, Kai's captors finally noticed something was wrong with their equipment. They hurried back to check on him, but it was too late. A group of heavily armed rebels burst into the laboratory, led by none other than Victoria Thorne herself. "Kill them," she screeched, panic etched deep into her features. The mercenaries raised their weapons, only for the rebels to mow them down with precise shots that seemed almost guided. Kai watched in stunned disbelief as chaos erupted around him. Then, amidst the gunfire and explosions, he heard a familiar voice, Kai al-Mahdi. He turned to find himself face with Elara Patel, who grinned at him like they were old friends despite never having met before. "You really know how to make an entrance," she quipped. She helped him out of the propulsion pod and into safety behind a makeshift barricade. Together, they watched as Victoria Thorne's forces were systematically wiped out, not by any extraordinary combat skills on Elara's part, but because the stellar brain was turning against its master. Auroras danced across every terminal, holographic interface, and control panel in sight. Neo, Babylon's infrastructure, began to fight back against those trying to seize it, turning their weapons against them until none remained standing except Victoria herself. Pinned down behind her desk, she sneered at Kai and Elara. "You think you've won? This is just the beginning." Her words were cut off as another explosion rocked Starlight's tower. Through the smoke, a figure emerged from the ruined doorway. Commander Zaya al-Nasir, leader of Earth's resistance against alien invaders. "You shouldn't have come here," she told Victoria, her voice like ice cracking. "Now you'll pay the price." Epilogue. With Starlight defeated and its stellar brain AI dismantled, Neo, Babylon was free once more, though not unscathed. Many lives had been lost during the battle, including several of Kai's neighbors who'd fought alongside Elara's rebels. Kai stood amidst the wreckage, feeling a profound sense of loss mixed with relief. It could have been worse. It almost had been. He owed his life to Elara and Commander al-Nasir, along with everyone else who joined together against Starlight's tyranny. Elara herself was nowhere to be seen. She'd left shortly after Victoria Thorne's defeat, saying something about other duties calling. But Kai knew better than most how quickly secrets could travel through encrypted channels. He doubted they'd meet again anytime soon. As he walked back towards what remained of his apartment, Kai reflected on everything that had happened. He'd started out as just another hacker looking for a thrill, never imagining himself part of something so much bigger, a war against alien invaders. Now, though, he felt different, changed, like maybe there was more to life than hiding in shadows, waiting for the next big score. Maybe there were things worth fighting for, even if it meant putting yourself on the line. And so, with renewed purpose burning within him, Kai al-Mahdi stepped forward into a new dawn, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. For now, though, he had one last task, retrieving his backup drive from where he'd hidden it before leaving home that fateful morning. Some things never changed, after all, like having contingency plans for contingencies.